Howdy, gamers, and welcome to an episode of Checkpoint Reached, a weekly show where we discuss a topic in gaming, occasional news stories, some movie and TV quotes, and just some random life rants. Thank you all for joining us. I'm your host, Lex, along with my co-host, Ernie. Ernie, what's going on, man?
What's up, dude? I'm
Let,
doing great.
let's keep it going. Dude, before we
Yeah,
started recording this, just the
please.
something that Ernie said, just, God, I asked him a question. He asked me something, and I'm like, yeah, dude, I told you earlier, and you're all, he goes, you told me. Anyways, it's dumb. You had to be there. You had to
It's
be there.
up. I wish
I
we could
wish
have recorded that.
I wish you recorded, but
Definitely.
dude, I'm not gonna ask you how you're doing because I know how you're doing. But this is actually gonna be our first kind of a backlog episode here, where we're recording an extra one just for you. Uh, Merry Christmas. I don't know what day it's gonna be. I don't know when it's gonna be put out. Um, but I guess in the meantime, let's just keep it short. How are you doing, man? You doing good? How you feeling?
I'm doing well, my friend. It
Yeah.
does me, and as friends of the channel know, it does me good to be here with you today, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
excited. I'm excited for this episode. Those who don't know, this episode was recorded prior to this a while ago, and this is the people that are in the know.
In
But
the
we
know.
recorded this episode before, same topics and everything, and it just there was no audio, which was the craziest thing because it
But
pissed me off. But whatever, here we are now.
but it kind of worked out because and what for one of the topics you talk about something so deep, but it's the wrong game. We get into it,
That's
and you're like, wait a minute. And I was like, what happened? Gosh, I have to think of the game that I had pulled up last time, the one that
yeah,
the bird that was flying. But anyway,
yeah.
dude, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm doing well as well. I'm glad to be doing a little back to back two parter here for us. Uh, it's good to start with a nice little laugh as well. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Just hearing us laugh, it's like two kids on Christmas morning, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like when in Family Guy, when Peter Griffin's like, my childish laugh, he's like, it's so stupid.
Oh my
But
god.
anyway, since we're recording this in the episode, I want to talk about something we might be playing, which I think we will be. Dude, Death Stranding's going great so far. I'm loving the
Dude,
game.
oh my. Hey, let me tell you something, Lex. When I
So,
got from here to there, oh wow.
that was great. Obviously, we don't have it yet. We're just recording in the future. Uh, but dude, I wanted to bring up this stupid thing about
Tell
the
me.
one of the characters, they show her feet, and like
Oh,
people are
Ellie
like,
Fanning, right?
ah, yeah, then people are like, I don't know what they're doing. They're like, someone said Kojima did it again. They show her feet, and then it says 10 out of 10 out of 10. So
You know what's
stupid.
funny is like there's
It's
like
so dumb.
videos. There's videos of him, and it'll be like it's like Norman Reedus hugging him, like his head, and then it goes, and then the songs in the background. It zooms in on the feet, and he's all smiling.
Gosh, it's so
I
dumb.
think
But
I
dude,
sent it to you on Twitter. Oh my god, it's hilarious.
yeah, dude, but I'm loving the game. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
Oh, how's it on the PS5 Pro? Tell me.
dude, I'll keep it a secret for now because I don't know. No, I think it's great. I think it looks wow, it looks pretty colors. But yes, dude, that's gonna be the future. Well, we'll probably be playing something else. I feel like on the side, but who knows? It might be taking over our life. I feel like it's not even gonna be that long of an episode. I think we'll have this episode released in maybe like 3-4 weeks. But hey, hope you enjoyed that little intro. Let's go ahead and jump in to our topic this week. We are talking mobile video games, the top 10 most influential mobile games of all time. Ernie was so nice to put this list together. We have a what is it? 10 game. I'm like, how many games do we have? But I just said 10. Uh, let's start with the first game, dude. Angry Birds. Created by Rovio, 2009. This game was introduced. Why it was influential, brought mobile gaming into the mainstream with the physics-based puzzles and iconic characters. Plenty of sequels, merchandising, a movie franchise, billions of downloads. Even I remember playing a Star Wars version of some sort.
I
Uh,
did, yeah, I
dude,
bought that too.
what is your Angry Bird experience? Were you a big Angry Birder? Is that how you say it?
I was for the for the fans of the series, we're called birds. It's called AB abs.
Mhm.
Kidding, no, it's not. I don't know.
I
And
do
so
my it's weirdly enough, my brother knows how to talk to birds. He does it. He does it. It's an inside joke. Inside. If
are
you know,
you
you know.
if you know icky 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 as they say, he goes call. We're full of sillies today, huh? Full of
So
sillies.
there still is. We have
But
the
so
sillies.
when this game had come out, I don't think I had an iPhone, or I wasn't able to afford one. So I
Mhm,
played this game primarily with my wife's phone, if I remember
mhm.
correctly. She had an iPhone, and it was a really fun game, dude. I think it was different for the time being, right? Because there was a lot of mobile games, especially during this time, that were sort of new to the ecosystem of gaming, and so a lot of people
Mhm.
frowned upon mobile gaming. People were like, "Dude, iPhone or phone games suck. Like that's not real gaming." I don't know if you recall this. It was like this big thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But so Angry Birds, when that had to come out, this was around the time games cost money, and
Brought
there
out
was
the
no
angry
extra.
nerds.
Yeah, and
Like,
exactly, and they were trying to shoot theirs. They were trying to launch themselves at the at Rovio.
yeah.
Yeah. So I remember when this had come out, the physics and all that was really neat. I'm sure there was other games that had done it, but this game had somehow influenced most games to do a lot of the very same similar kind of gameplay. So you had a lot of knockoffs of it. Um and there were some cool things that they did because eventually they got famous enough where they started to kind of like you said, get franchises like Star Wars and all these other things, which are really cool. But yeah, I used to play. I used to play it. It was a lot of fun. I never finished it. I never beat it. But oh, this is what I wanted to get into before
Mhm.
I forgot. But this is around the time that games used to just cost $3,
Mm.
and we didn't have to spend extra money on content. It was just that's what you bought it for.
That's
You know
right,
what I
no
mean?
microtransactions and all that. It should be
Yep.
worth mentioning, I think I myself, a lot of these games I played on the iPod Touch when
Same.
I
Yeah.
didn't
At
have
one
the phone
point.
yet, as well, and I had that, so I just wanted to mention that. I remember playing this on that. Um, yeah, dude, I like you, I didn't continue it. I liked it, it was fun, but I didn't get into it as hard as a lot of people did. I didn't even watch the movie. So sorry, Ernie. I'm so sorry. I know you love those things, but I know you're a little tiny bird as well. It's trying to spread your wings. But yeah, dude, is this game still going? Or is it gone? It is. It's still
No,
there, right?
it's. I mean, yeah, the game is still there. I think now it's free. I think it'll be like it'll say like Angry Birds Lite, so that you'd get like a light version of the game.
Yeah,
But I think that's just like the unpaid version. I don't think
with
now they
ads
charge
probably.
you for the content. Yeah, probably ads and probably if you want to pay for like these minor like little
Yeah,
costumes or something for the birds, maybe.
there's got to
But
be
I don't recall.
microtransactions now, right? It's
Yeah,
funny you mentioned how the game was only like 3.99 or whatever. And I just remember, like, thinking it was blasphemy to buy a game for my phone, bringing it back to, like, the whole, like, "That's not real gaming," and it's not that
yeah,
I thought that, but I was just like, something about buying a game on my phone just didn't feel right." And which is funny because 'cause I'm like, you buy a cheap game, and I was over here buying $50 games from, like, my consoles, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just
And
scrapping
some
up
of them
money.
we never even beat, and they're
I think I
probably not
rather
even
was
that
able to
good.
have money for that and, like, those kinda games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, so I didn't really get into it too much, but, I mean, I could see why it was popular. It was fun. I played the Star Wars version. I'd get
Mm,
pissed when I didn't knock over those darn piggies, but it was
yeah.
cool. Let's move on to the next game here. A game called Flappy Bird comes out in 2013. Now, this game was very simple. All you had to do was tap your bird on the screen to keep it from flying, but it was also very difficult. Uh, Viral gold, as they say, kind of had pipes similar to like Mario. Say those
Yeah.
pipes for karaoke. Dude, it was like super addicting. I remember this was a big craze. I remember this more of a craze than Angry Birds was
Definitely.
for me at least.
I think in the internet, like Reddit, kind of sort of like in that perspective, yes, because
Mhm.
it did hit this like crazy niche of a game where it got to the point where I think the developer was getting all kinds of hate because people were just getting mad that they weren't doing well in the game or whatever. And it's like this one guy that created this game and he just did it for fun. I think in college or something like that. Made a
Mhm.
whole ton of money or whatever. Ended up pulling the game, my friend. Ended up pulling the game because of all that hate and
That's crazy.
scrutiny that he had gotten. And it was funny because he had done that, there was no way to get the game. So if you had it on your mobile device, you were the only one that was able to play. Like if you delete it, you'll never get it again. But
Yeah.
so people started going on eBay and selling an
Selling it,
iPhone with Flappy Bird on it.
which
It
is
was crazy. It
wild.
was ridiculous, but it was because that was the only way. That's the bad thing because we haven't gotten into that yet. But one of the bad things about mobile gaming is if you did buy a game, and this goes back to digital games, is like you don't own it. So if Apple pulls it, you'll never get it again. And that goes for a lot of games that I bought when I was younger, and it sucks because I had some really awesome games and they're
Yeah.
gone now.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot. This game I was confused when we first had it. I thought it was Tiny Wings. I think I was telling you about it before. You're just basically the
That's
little
right.
bird flying on the hill. I was
Yeah.
really obsessed with that game. Didn't make the influential list, but I just wanted to mention that if anyone remembers. If you know, you know. Uh, number 3 on the list. Well, actually, start real quick on Flappy Bird. I played it a lot as well. I mean, obviously, I never got to the end, like I don't think a lot of people did.
So you're a flapper, huh?
I was a flapper, dude. Hey, Flappy, flappers. Um, I don't know what I was trying to imitate, like flappers, like the old school, 50 stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
know
yeah,
exactly
it's
what you're
pretty
talking
wild.
about.
I didn't even know about it getting pulled and the whole death stretch thing, which is pretty wild. Like
Yeah.
people are crazy, dude. It's like, come on, it's not that serious. It's a game, but I get it. It's like frustrating. People want to be able to say like, "Hey, I beat this game," but wild, my friend. Now let's move on to number 3 in our list here. We have Pokemon Go. Were you surprised this was on the list? No, of course this game's gonna be on the list. It was a cultural phenomenon in 2016 by developer Niantic. First massive AR success, blending real world movement with gaming. And this game was literally like was crazy. It was literally a phenomenon, like I mentioned. Like I just remember seeing people just in droves just running like there's a Dratini and everyone I think by our old work like there was a park, right? I think it was a Dratini
Yeah,
farm. Like
yeah.
people would go there. You and I, Ernie and I, we did a little late night park in the dark and
We had
park.
scooters and stuff,
Yeah, we had
and
our little scooters and a
I
park
did.
ranger came and kicked us out because like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "Pokemon
Well,
hunting."
yeah, it was like really late, dude. Well, it was after work that we had gotten off, and then we're like, you know what? Let's go Pokemon hunting. So when stopped by the liquor store, we got a squirt and like some tequila, and we made like palomas, and then
Mhm.
we had our scooters, which is really bad. I think we're a lot of younger. They were and it was a great time, and we were just cruising through this big park trying to find something. I think after a certain time in Pokemon Go, Pokemon just kind of go to sleep or something, but they wouldn't show up after like 7 or something or 9, I forget. But it
Yeah, they
was
had to
really
change a lot
silly.
because a lot of people were doing stuff like I think trespassing also, like, people are going into properties like they weren't supposed to just to catch these things because 'cause you'd have to get into
Yeah.
proximity to be able to for them to show up, and you just have to basically catch them. 'Em. You'd have to throw a little Pokeball and try to catch 'em if they got away. Obviously, you miss it.
Yeah, they changed the proximity for one particular reason of people like well, yeah, you said the trespassing, but there was one particular moment that I remember. There was this guy who had I think someone found a Pikachu where he lived, and they were like going in to try to get that Pikachu, and people were like, "What the?" Like, it's
What's
like you
going
can get
on?
shot. Like if you're trespassing, you're probably gonna get like people can hurt you. And so yeah, they changed the radius. I think
Yeah.
this was 2016. At this point, you were able to kind of like capture Pokemon even while you were driving, which was
Yes.
even crazy for you to do. But people were doing it. Eventually, they changed that, and then they got it. They made it even crazier to not be able to do that,
Yeah,
and
because it would
rightfully
ask
so,
it
right?
would sorry, it would ask you, "Are you the passenger in the car?" And you're just
You're
say,
like,
"Yes."
hell yeah, I am.
And I was like,
And you weren't. Obviously, you're all.
mhm,
But
'cause
the other crazy thing too is like there was this is a random little story, but like you said, we would go Pokemon hunting. There was this particular guy in the area that we would go to. There's like some older Asian dude, and he had like, dude, I kid you guys not, he had 6 Samsung phones, and he had them in this like
dude,
sort
yes.
of like he had a it was it was like a selfie stick, but the harder ones, and it was like
Mhm.
3 of them
I remember,
all
dude. It
connected.
was
Yeah, it
it
was
was
crazy.
serious, man. It was a thing, and like there was also things where you can hatch eggs, so that's why people would leave it on while they were driving, so they can make it seem like they're walking, because you'd have to walk. It was encouraging you to walk, right, and then get out there
Yeah,
and exercise. But
yeah,
yeah,
some exercise.
just got a little too crazy. People were going
It's
nuts for it. I think I
I
remember
want to
we
go.
went to the pier right somewhere together once to
Yeah,
catch a bunch
at
of
one point,
fish-based
yeah,
Pokemon, and it's funny because like you wouldn't really think like I mean, on a random day, I would be like, "Ernie, let's go to the pier," or something like that. It's like, "Hey, let's go to the pier. There's some good Pokemon over there." And like, "All right, we're checking out these places."
yeah.
Well, yeah,
And
I
we
haven't
would
been
text
down
each
here in a
other
long time.
like, look what I just got,
Look what
dude.
I did. I'm going to Rome.
I'm so glad that you said the thing about the. I'm so glad that you said the thing about the. Dude, I forgot about the peer thing. I'm so glad you brought that up. But
Mhm,
but it's cool because I know a lot of people were doing a lot of exercising during the
mhm,
Pokemon
mhm.
Go craze, and which is great because it's like get up and go do this, right?
Pokemon Go.
And yeah, it was crazy. I heard a lot of stories of people losing all kinds of weight just doing this sort of thing. I remember I used to go at some point. I would, and it was on the Apple Watch. They got rid of it, but I would go to the gym and I would go on the treadmill, run like a mile or two, and I would like you hatch eggs and stuff, and it would read all that, dude. It's still kind, I think it still kind of does it, but it was like it was so cool because it was like you're doing this to get that, and dude, this is around the time that I was going, and I spend like dude $200 on Pokemon Go for like storage and stupid things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't
I
believe I
mean,
did that. But it was
I
like, but it was all gift cards that I got for my birthday or Christmas, so it wasn't my
mean,
money, but it was
yeah,
money
yeah,
spent. You
yeah, yeah, yeah. Gift cards, he says. Don't worry, dude. I've been in that situation. Um, dude. You said at one point there was like a map that show you where everything was, right? Wasn't there like a little cheat where you can look up like real time maps of where Pokemon were?
Yeah, so there was an app. I forget what the app was called, but you essentially would log into it and it would tell you exactly where certain Pokemon were. And so I think a lot of people were using that. Eventually they got rid of it. They did something to their system where it like broke that sort of like application so no one was able to use it. And it kind of ruined it because a lot of the camaraderie of people, like you said, that would meet up in one particular location
Hmm.
changed because now nobody would trust it. And so yeah, so it kind of died off because of that a lot for the most part. Um but yeah.
Yeah, that's wild, man. What a crazy thing, and it's still going. I know you still kind of play.
Yeah.
I tried
I
to
am.
kind of get into it a couple
Yeah.
times again, but I just could not do it. It was just I just I was never really super into it. At least only when I first got it. Now I'm
Yeah.
like I tried. I remember trying again. I'm like, you still playing earlier? Like, yeah, 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 yeah. And
I
I
stopped
don't really
playing
think something
after a
like that.
while. I think after I switched my phone, I kind of stopped playing. But the one thing I will say this, and I think we'll end it here. But the way that Pokemon Go started, for those who don't know, for the uninitiated, and we all initiated on me, Mr. Lex. It started as a Google Maps thing, right? So
Yeah.
Google Map had this Pokemon thing going on, and on Google Maps, you would go anywhere on the map, and you would click all these Pokemon to capture them, and you would have to capture 150, I think, at the time. And it was really cool because you would just go to different areas and do it. A lot of people did that, and that was basically the beta test for Pokemon Go when it eventually released, and it went all kinds of crazy.
Yeah, before we move on to that, what was the little jingle that you used to hear?
Which little one?
I play Poke. Was that something? What was
Oh,
that?
dude, the kid that would go, I play Pokemon Go every day. Dude,
That
oh
is
my
awesome. I
gosh.
love that.
What a sweet
Uh,
little song.
let's move on to the next one. Number 4, we have Temple Run 2011, Imanji Studios. It was an endless runner game. That's why it's influential. Created a wave of runner style games like Subway Surfers, Minion Rush. I remember being really into this game. I remember this being a big craze as well. Everyone was like, "How far did you get on your Temple Run?" It was, just, and again, this was on the iPod Touch. I was playing this. I think I remember playing. There was a Mario version. There might be a Sonic version as well. Dude, this game was fun. It was so simple, right? You're just really just running and just jumping over obstacles and seeing how far you get. And it was kind of, I wouldn't say Indiana Jones, but like it was like kind of an Uncharted style. Like it was kind of that genre, right? You're like a little Tomb Raider in a way, right? Running around. And dude, it was addicting. It was super. Like, all these games are just so darn addicting, right? Uh, what are your experience with this game?
Yeah, dude, I remember playing this game back in 2011. I don't remember exactly. So my like sort of mindset is I always forget which phones came out around the time, but it's always been an iPhone for the most part for these games that I used to play them on. And don't get me wrong, they came out on Android as well. But Temple Run, I played, I believe, on my iPod Touch.
Mhm.
Now, now that one was really cool. I never beat it. I don't even think there is a way to beat it. Right, it's just endless. So you never really get to the
Probably
end
not.
in any way. Maybe you do. I don't know if you know. Sound off on the
There
chat.
might be levels. I don't remember honestly. I don't. Yeah, keep going.
I know you can definitely get like different runners during your
Mhm.
playthrough. You'll get like things if you after you get to a certain part. But yeah, dude, it was a really fun looking game, and it reminded me of Pitfall as well as like Uncharted, kind of Indiana Jones. So it was fun in that aspect because eventually I think like a monkey would chase you. I don't know if you remember that. It was like this weird little thing.
I think so. Yeah, I'm reading here. You cannot beat the game. It just keeps going and definitely until your character fails, which is pretty
Yeah,
wild. Like, imagine someone just never fails. Like, how there might be someone still playing since 2011 when this game came out.
that'd be wild, dude.
They're
I
all,
want I want to ask.
I can't go.
I'm still running. Did I feel like they make it impossible at some point, but I want to. Did you kind of go into your sort of run with this game? How you liked
I
it?
mean, a little bit, yeah. Like I was saying, like I did play on the Apple Touch, iPhone Touch, whatever. Um,
Man,
Yeah, I played it. I again, like, I don't remember how far what the score was. Again, like, it was another obsession game. This is kinda like
yeah,
Flappy
yeah,
Bird. I remember it being, like, really big like that, and everyone was kinda playing it and, like, just doing runs together, which was it was fun. It was a good time.
yeah. Do you
Um,
remember the year that the iPod Touch came out by any chance?
I
The
can
one
look it
that
up.
was like that'd be
When
cool. While you do that, I want to tell a story, if I may, Lex.
please.
Thank you. So when I was younger, around the time that I was just going, I think it was like high school or college or whatever, there was this, I had, my mom was in and out of the hospital a lot. So I would go to the hospital in this particular location of the hospital. I would go and I would go visit her and she was there for a while. So I would go out, I would get out of the hospital because I'm like, I don't want to be here all day. I need to get out of this place. It's like depressing. It sucks. And so I would walk out and I would go out for a little walk. And at some point, my brother picked me up and we're like, let's go home. He picked me up and I saw this Pomeranian dog on the
Mhm.
middle of the road. And I was like, dude, get out, go, go, like trying to get him out of there. And he was like in the middle of the road. He was about to get hit by a car. So we like stopped and we shushed him out and I grabbed him. And I was like, let me just grab him. Let's take him home and see if we could find like their owner or something, like when we go back to see my mom the next day. And so for a while, I would go out there and, like, again, I would walk out, look to see if there was any posts or any signs. I didn't see anything. And eventually, something caught my eye when we were driving, and I found a missing dog sign, and it was him. I called him Mr. Palmer's. He was missing teeth. He was a little bit old,
Aw.
and he wouldn't really eat all that well, which I felt really bad. And I think eventually they told us when they came to pick him up that he required medicine, which sucked because obviously we didn't have that,
Mhm.
and we couldn't get a hold of him for like 2 days or something like that. But eventually, like I said, we found them. I still have, I think, the paper of the missing poster. It's like it was like a yellow or like highlighter color, I forget. But so his name is Mr. Palmer's, dude. I call him. Those people ended up coming, and I was like, "Oh, here's I'm so glad that I found your sign. I didn't. We would go look and we couldn't find anything, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we put it up there. We just felt bad because he needs his medicine and all that." So I gave them the thing. I was really happy that we found the dog. I was really ecstatic, and then the guy comes up to me and he goes, "Here you go. Thank you so much. Here you go." And I'm like, and I was like, well, he was trying to give me money, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm okay. Thank you. Like I don't need the money." Like I in my head I was like, this is karma. Like let's not take any money. Like I don't want that sort of like oh I did this to get money. Like that's not what this is, right? But he's like, no, please take this, please. And I'm like, oh, all right, fine. I was a young kid. I'm like, all right, whatever. If he's really insisting, that's fine with me. I used that money, my friend, to buy my iPod Touch.
What a trip.
And
I thought you were gonna say he was handing you his Temple Run score so he
yeah,
could get
no,
it.
no, no.
Okay.
That's
That's
so that's
awesome. But,
why for the most part I had my mobile gaming was from that dog. Yeah.
September 2007, shout out to Mr. Palmer, dude.
Yeah, Mr. Palms. I hope he's still
Mr.
alive, but I
Palms.
doubt it. He was an
I
old
mean, he was
guy.
old, like you said.
He lived a good life.
And
He was a small but sturdy breed.
he lived life. Let's move on to the next game, number 5, which is a game I am very familiar with. Clash of Clans came out in 2012 by Supercell. Masterclass in mobile strategy and monetization. Define the freemium quotes and model and clan-based multiplayer. Now, I have a lot of experience game. This is a game that I spent money on. I got into it a little later than 2012. I know my uncles were playing him. Game looks funny. But then I ended up getting into it with him, and I've been part of his clan ever since. I can't. I wish I can pull up somehow to tell you how long I've been playing. I might be able to. I'll try to check, but we don't play anymore. I've literally been thinking, like, just saying, like, hey, I'm done with this game. Like, one last war to win it all. Basically, you build yourself your little clan, your whole little clan area. I can show you my clan thing right now. I'm gonna try to pull it up.
I think I was in
Um,
that clan, but I got kicked out for inactivity.
Yeah, he at first he was very strict. He was very like, "Here's the rules. If you don't do this, if you don't blah blah blah, you get demoted." Blah blah blah. Now we don't do that at all because a lot of us just forget and just stop battling. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but this is. Oh, you probably can't really see it because of the
Oh
glare.
yeah, it's kind of weird.
But
Yeah, you can
yeah,
kind of tell. Yeah, dude.
it's
Wow,
there. I
your
mean, again,
location
this
looks crazy.
it's like a game that's just so many updates that it's just too much going on. It's just I don't play it anymore, and I've been wanting to say one last war, but for some reason I just can't let it go. Because I just feel bad. I'm gonna try to find if I can find when I started this. But please, Ernie, if you want to get into this game, if you have any experience, obviously you said you were part of our clan. I got kicked out.
I got kicked out for inactivity, dude. I didn't play this all that much. I know you were a big fan of it, and you kind of would play a lot, and it was the game that you would stop working to play. So when we were working together, you would stop and play this. And I think they would text you and they're like, "There's a war going, and you're like, I have to do this. Can you go watch my tables?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, sure." And I think you would do like a little war or something, if
Yeah,
I remember
it'd be
correctly.
every like the weekends. It'd be like a Sunday night. If I was working a Sunday, I would have to do the do the war. So,
Yeah. So I would be there. See, I've always been there for you. You don't even. Right when you had to go to
well,
war, I was there. I was your lady in waiting, as
ah,
they say. Uh so yeah, so you were playing that, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try. So I gave it a try, and I gave the good old college try, as they say. I played for a while. I built a little base, nothing crazy. I didn't spend any money whatsoever because I just didn't want to. But it was a fun game. It had a great, like, sort of, like you said, a very good.
this is your clan. I'm looking at it now. You can't see it.
Is it? Yeah, it's not even
Oh,
that great, right? It's
tiny
not even
compared to
crazy.
Zern.
Yeah, dude. At the time, it was yeah. So, but I remember thinking like, wow, I truly what I wanted to do was not even go to war. I just wanted to build a really cool castle. That was like what my thing was. Like, just let me build something, kind of like when we were playing Simpsons Tapped Out or something. When we were
Yes.
playing that, we're just kind of building our little area, our little city, and that's what I kind of had a fun time doing. And for the most part, I think I only went to war once. And like your uncle or whoever was the clan leader had, I forgot who you said it was, so I apologize, but had like messaged all of us like, let's go, and they're like, let's do this. And then I texted you, I'm like, what do I do? And I did this, and I won one, and then I
Yeah,
lost. And it was cool. It was a fun thing to
it
have
is
like
fun.
this clan, but
Mhm.
it was also, you'd have to be very invested, and I was just not that invested in the game. So
Yeah,
it was cool.
it's very stressful. I think my uncle has been playing it since it came out, so he's been playing it since the very get go. But yeah, like I said, it's not something we
I
play
wanna
anymore. It's just like it's just
I
kind of
wanna ask you
there.
this question, man. I want to know, how much money did you spend on this?
You know what? Honestly, I think a little over 200. I remember getting to that
Oh,
point, and
all of a sudden, and yeah.
but I'll admit it was my own money. Not I got a gift card. I saved
It was
Mister
gift
Puppies.
cards, man.
I saved
It
Mister
was.
Puppy Wuppies.
Hey, Mr. Palmer, dude.
He
Hey, respect.
saved me. I saved him.
I saved him, dude.
Hey,
No, yeah, those were gift cards. It's not a
who,
lie. It
who
was
adopted
Christmas
who?
gift cards.
No, just kidding. No, who saved
Ah,
who? Is that what it is? But dude, yeah,
oh yeah,
great
yeah.
game. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game here. Uh,
Who saved you? That's what I say
let's go.
about you,
Yeah, number 6, we have Candy Crush Saga here, made
dude.
by King, also 2012. Sorry, were you gonna say something? You look
No,
like
no,
you're
no.
ready.
Keep going. Sorry, I apologize. I was going to talk
You're
about
all
the game, but
uh, dude, this game made the match 3 type games into a lifestyle, dominated casual gaming, especially for non-traditional gamers. Now, these games, like other games on the list, riddled with microtransactions, very
oh yeah.
easy to use. I never played Candy Crush, but I am playing now Royal Match, and I'll admit I have spent some money in there. Not a lot, not as much as I did with
What do you
Royal,
spend
but I
money for to do on there?
because
By chance,
so
if you
like you
don't,
get to an end of a level, and like there's a power up you can get that you have after like beating 10 levels in a row. It's called the Super Ball, and it's like really fun to keep. And like if you're about to beat a level and like you don't have enough coins, you just buy the coins to redo the level so you just finish it off. Um
Oh my gosh, that's
yeah,
awful.
it's really bad, dude. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I'm like I gotta stop, dude. I mean, like I said, I haven't spent too much money on it, but every once in a while, like especially like if I, it's a little night of drinking and I hop on the game, I'm like, oh, let's
Mm.
spend $2
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
That's the problem with drinking and playing games like that,
I
dude.
know
Yeah.
it's great,
I
but dude,
feel it.
it's fun. And I got my girlfriend into it. She's in our little team, and it's kind of funny because I remember listening to another podcast, a rival podcast, as I say. No, I'm
Mm.
kidding. And they were talking about that game. They're all, it looks so stupid, and because like the advertising is nothing like the game. Um, it's just funny the way they show it is like totally different than what it is. I don't know why they show it
Yeah.
that way, but yeah, that's my experience with the match 3 game. That's the only I only got into a Royal Match. I don't know if you got into Candy Crush. Did you?
I've only played it. Dude, no, I've only. So my story is that my sisters in laws and I believe Diane for a moment, but I might be wrong, which is my wife. She was playing it for a little bit, and they were like really into it to the point where like they would play every day. I think one of them sent me an invitation so I can give them some sort of free play. I forget what it was, but it was this whole thing.
Mhm.
I tried it for a little bit. I'm not really a big fan of match 'em ups like that. It just wasn't my style of gameplay, or at least at the
It's
time.
it's like
Maybe I could play it
thoughtless,
now and it'll be
brainless.
fun. Yeah, exactly. I mean, no, there's some thought to it. Let's not
No, yeah, there is.
say
Yeah, I don't
that,
mean it
but
like that.
but
Sorry.
I but like I just it's just it wasn't for me. But
Mhm.
I did respect it because I had fun hearing that people who were, like it says, the unconventional gamer, the person that didn't want to play, or the non-traditional gamer, I apologize,
Yeah.
uh, that didn't play games was playing this game because it was easy to play. and it was a lot of fun. And they would go Candy Crush, or they would say like the soda or something. There was
Heck
like this
yeah.
whole little thing. So yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it. I know King sold to Activision, or not Activision. Was it Activision? Activision or Microsoft? Well, now Microsoft owns
Mhm.
both, but I think it's sold to them, so they own it. I don't know what they're doing with them.
I'll tell you something, dude. You're my little Candy Crush. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game
Oh
here.
dang!
Number 7 on the list. I am not familiar with this game. I've seen it. It's called Infinity Blade. This came out in 2010. This was Chair/Epic Games. It was the first mobile game to showcase console level graphics, prove mobile phones could be legit gaming devices. Now I'm looking at this game. It kind of looks like a little medieval style game where you're fighting people. Did you have any experience? I had no experience with this game. Did you play this?
I did. This is one of those infinite. This is one of those games that costs money during I believe during its when it first came out. I'm trying to find out how much it costs because I think it was a little bit more expensive than most mobile games at the
Mhm.
time. But basically, it's like you're basically fighting like third person, and you have to swipe left to dodge, swipe right, and then you have to tap 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 to attack. It was kind of those kinds of games, and it was really cool. It was really pretty. They made like 3 of them or 2 of them, if I remember correctly. But the game was really neat, and I know a lot of people, like you said, it showcased that there was more to mobile gaming than just like these, like Angry Birds sort of games and stuff like that, or Clash of Clans, right? And I think this kind of paved the way for a lot of the more advanced games. Like I think the people that made Guacamelee made a game, Severed, I believe it's called, and that's a very similar game. Very, very beautiful. More art drawn, like cartoon drawn. But it's a really great game, and it played real well. I would have assumed that you played this just because it was so popular at the time.
Yeah, I don't know what I was doing because I mean, when was this? 2010? Yeah, I mean, this is not. I didn't play. I was
Oh,
playing
I
still
know
a
what
little,
I was doing. I
little
was
silly. I don't know
getting.
what I was doing in 2012. I had a job. The
He's
first
what's that
job
thing?
around that time.
What's that thing we used to get?
I remember when a dime bag cost a dime. Dude, yeah, I didn't
Nah,
play this game. You were saying swipe left, swipe right. I was like, "Are you talking about Tinder?" Just kidding.
ah,
Anyway, that's another podcast. Let's talk about a
that's for
channel,
another episode.
YouTube. Let's talk about number 8 on this list, Ernie. This game called Doodle Jump, called in 2009 Lima Sky. Now, among the earliest iOS hits, cemented tilt controls and quick play mechanics in mobile design. Now, this is another game I didn't really have much experience with. I remember playing maybe a little bit, but I didn't get into it. I wasn't a fan of it. I think you have to draw your way out of situations. Is that basically what it was?
Dude, this is the one where you were like this like little green thing with like a big old nose,
Wait, I'm
and you
sorry.
would just you would just jump. What?
Before you get into that, the character's name, the Doodler. Sorry, the Doodler.
Are you kidding me? Are you not
I swear, I
are
just
you
read it
for real?
right now, and you're all this
Wow,
little
that's
green guy. I'm
awesome.
like, I have to mention, but please go ahead.
So the doodler would basically just jump, and every time he would jump, he would have to hit a different area,
Uh,
and he would just keep collecting. I've only played this once. I wasn't a big fan of it either, but a lot of people loved it, and it was like very highly regarded. Like people like the people that know will know Doodle Jump. Like you'll like most people played it is what it is, and for
there's some
us,
doodlers.
we just weren't doodlers. You know what I mean?
We're doodlers.
If anything, you were a diddler, but that's different.
Oh, come on.
Ah,
No, all right, that's crazy. That's crazy. The
did
Doodler. I
this
was
one?
a
Go
There
ahead.
was a show called the Doodle Bops, dude. Do you remember this? It was like gosh, I'm trying to think.
Nah,
I think it
the
was like a
Doodle
Disney Channel.
Bobs.
It
Isn't
was a
that
it was a
Doodle
Canadian
Doodle?
series.
Isn't Doodle Bob freaking SpongeBob when he's the cartoon
Oh,
version?
that's Doodle Bob, yeah. But
Yeah,
there was
maybe.
a series called Doodle Bops. They're a little band.
Oh no.
They were interesting. I don't know what this came out, but
Speaking of bands, dude, number
oh,
9 on this list, my friend Lex. Now, this is one I was pretty excited to talk about. It's Tap Tap Revenge. Came out in 2008. It was by the studio Tapulous. It was pretty influential because it was like one of the first. I want to say, I don't know if it was the first, but it was one of the first rhythm games on the iPhone, and it was
mhm,
predating most of the App Store giants, like some of the other ones that had come out at the time. But
mhm,
it was impactful because it helped, like I said, establish uh big name, like a big music songs on little games. So what you would do is you basically would it's kind of like Beat Saber or like Guitar
yep,
Hero, Rock Band, and you would get this game, and it would already come with some pre-built songs, but it would you would be sometimes I think you eventually you were able to buy songs where it was like, I don't know, Green Day or Lady Gaga or something on it, and you
Yeah.
would be able to play it. But one of the songs that I used to play because I wouldn't buy those songs was it was a song that they created, and it would go tap 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 revenge, tap 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 revenge. But it was like,
Like,
now the way I'm singing it, I'm not doing it justice. It's very poppy and more sort of like it has like this sort of punk kind of electronic sort of version of that song. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so freaking sweet, and I would play it every day. Like I would play it a lot because I loved rhythm games at the time. And that one just hit home for me.
yeah, they called you Tapplers. I'm kidding. Dude,
Mm,
yeah, I remember playing this game as well.
Tappa tappa tappa.
I think same with you. I just played the whatever the songs were given. I didn't have the money to buy little games I could do now, like little things now, which I'm glad because I would have spent probably stupid money on this at the time. But I mean, obviously we had the Guitar Heroes and the Rock Bands too to suffice. But yeah, dude, I remember playing this because I love the rhythm based game style. Um, I don't remember the difficulty spikes. I think I remember them getting pretty difficulty at one point. But dude, I love that little song you sang, "Tap Tap Revenge."
Thank you.
Now let's go ahead and tap ourselves into the last game on the list, number 10. Now, can you guess? Can you guess it? Yeah, it's a Fruit Ninja, 2010, Half Brick Studios, which would describe Ernie Half Brick. It's
Mm.
influential because it's defined the touchscreen interaction with its iconic swipe method mechanic, universally appealing and heavily imitated. This game is huge. I remember playing the crap out of this game a lot. I think this game is in arcades as well, which probably some of these other games are as well. But I remember this game is, I think it's still in arcades. You can still play Fruit Ninja. I
Yeah,
think I
you
remember when
still
it came
can.
out for the Connect as well for Xbox. I remember playing that as well, like the control.
Yeah,
Um, dude, I remember loving playing this game. I remember a lot of people playing this game as well. It was a really big hit. Uh, so simple. So you're just basically you're slashing fruit. That's all you're doing. Sometimes a little bomb will get thrown. Don't get that bomb. It'll hurt you. What about you? Ernie? What's your experience with it?
no, same thing, man. I feel like I remember playing this game, and to be quite honest with you, I didn't enjoy it all that much. I was really bad at it, which was weird because it's a very simple game. But for whatever reason, I would just always get that darn bomb, and it would piss me off. And I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to play this game. There's got to be something that's better than this. And don't get me wrong, it's a great game. There's a reason it's on this list. Now, these numbered games aren't numbered in order of how great they were. It's just 10 of the most influential games that we remembered and how
Yeah.
people, they were highly regarded at the time. And this was one of them. Like a lot of people had them. I think like most people had them on their phones that I knew, right? Fruit Ninja
Yes.
was just like the game. And like you said, it eventually came out on arcades. I played on arcade. It sucks on arcade too.
Yeah, it's not
Like
that great.
it's a really terrible game, but like people
Same with
like
like
my
Guitar
daughter
Hero.
loved that.
Sorry, same with the Guitar Hero. Like the arcades, the guitar's all busted. He barely works. Uh,
That's like that's more of a like so the arcade people don't take care of
yeah.
their stuff. So
Along with these games though, like that are also on these people's phones or iPod touches. You also had the little beer drinking app. You had the little lighter app, the little gun one. Like I remember
yeah.
having those. You tip the little beer and you're drinking. That's just such a dumb thing.
And then, do
It
you
was
remember
so funny,
there was one? So there was one also with the flashlight because it didn't have a flashlight
but
at
it
the
was
time.
just a
The old
screen,
iPhone,
right?
it's just a screen, and
Just
it
gets
would
really
just get
bright.
really bright. And then there was one where it would make your phone warm so you wouldn't be cold. You
Oh,
remember
I don't
this?
remember that one. No, I
Yeah,
do
there
not
was
remember
one
that
for
one.
that too. And then there was this one, and I've talked to you about this before, but it was worth $1,000 or $10,000. It's basically a rich app. It was like one of the first stupid apps that people made for like one of the first iPhones. And if you bought it, basically it meant that you were able to afford this because you were rich.
Yeah,
It
I
was
want to
really stupid.
mention that is dumb, but I want to mention this. Uh, back in the day, we used to smoke a little something called the ganja.
Yeah.
Sorry for kids. All that, yeah, just that's all I'm gonna go. But we would want to scale it out sometimes. We'd be like, dude, if the iTouches had a sweet scale, how awesome would that be? And I think they had one, but it did not really work
No, it
very
didn't
well.
work.
It was. I don't think it did, and I don't even know if they had one until later. But I think you had to
Oh
pay for a
wow,
better
that's
one, and we never
crazy.
paid. But I had to mention that because I thought that was funny. We wanted to weigh out to see if we weren't getting screwed over because we were just little kids. Got 5 on it, you know what I mean? But sorry,
Oh
I
my
didn't mean to get
god.
a little
Yeah.
R-rated there, but
You
I'm
got a
kind of
little haver by the Cooper right there. Dude, that's crazy that you try to weigh. Because I didn't even know that it had some sort of like a thing to weigh. Either you were
I
really dumb because of the weight, I'm
No, yeah, of
sorry.
course. Yeah, I think that's what it was. We're just like, "Fate
You
could
know,
get you high."
no matter.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no, yeah, no. I like, that's awesome, dude. That's crazy. It's almost as stupid as the people that well, not stupid. Sorry, it's
Oh, I'm
like,
stupid.
yeah, I did. I called you dumb.
Good,
I'm sorry, you're not stupid, but
That's okay.
you know,
I was.
yeah. Um, I was.
Uh,
No. Do you remember? This is random.
yeah, good.
Do you do you remember you could buy a ruler with the iPhone and you can kind of like rule out the.
Yeah,
Do you
and I think
remember
there's
this?
also a leveler too, right? Like you
Yeah,
can
leveler. That's what
That's
it
the
was.
leveler. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that as well. Who knows how accurate that was? Maybe
I
that's
don't
why
know
half
if
of
it
my
was.
shells were crooked. That's all. Why are my things sliding? But dude, let's move on and
Do you
wrap up this
remember?
episode.
Do you
Let's
remember
take a
when? Yeah, we'll wrap up. But do you remember when eventually they added AR or VR or something to the phones where you can like put 3D models of something on your freaking in your house? So this is how the bed would look if it was here.
I mean, they still have it now, like for Amazon. It's like if you want to
Yeah, I
buy off
seen
like
that.
online, they'll be
Yeah.
like, check how it looks. And you'd look. I'm like, hey, let me see how this grill looks. It's all small. I'm like, that's not how it looks. It's all tiny. That's pretty funny. But dude, please.
Yeah, you would say
What's up?
when you were a little boy, you didn't even know what it was.
Everyone, thank you all so much for joining us on this special episode here. We don't know when to release, so
uh,
happy whatever holiday it is. Who knows where it's going to be released? But thank you all so much. Ernie, send us out, please.
of course, dude. As always, I would like to thank the audience for tuning in every week. Thank you for being friends of the channel. And please subscribe. Please leave a comment as well. Do you have any weed stories where you're trying to use a scale? Please sound off on the chat. Also, please follow us on Instagram at checkpoint_reach. There, I and Lex will answer any inquiries you may have. Maybe if you want to know how to scale.
You scale up the episode.
I apologize, but
I'm
thank
looking
you.
now. They have some scale apps on here. I don't know how accurate they are. But
I kind
dude,
of want to
yes,
try it
thank you.
out.
Thank you, Ernie, for sending us. Thank you all so much for listening. We hope you had a good time. Please comment and let us know your favorite mobile games. If it wasn't on this list, if it was, we would love to hear it. We'd love to hear your iPhone touch stories as well. If you were as a silly kid like me. Thank you all so much. We'll see you next week. Checkpoint reached. Goodbye.
Goodbye.